Following segment on News Talk 1340, KROC-AM and 96 FM is sponsored and paid for by Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Whether you've sold your home 10 times or you're going to be selling it for the first time, there are things you need to know before you actually sell your home. How's that for an introduction, Robin?
That's a loaded sentence.
Well, that's going to be a topic we're going to discuss this morning on our program for the next half hour. And I imagine I'm just going to take a stab in the dark here. The first thing I better do is find myself a good realtor.
Oh, you are so smart. That's correct. If you're going to sell your home, there's a lot of decisions to make. And so rather than starting to make the decisions, why not find someone to guide you with those decisions right out of the starting box. So first thing you want to do is do your research, hire a good realtor.
How do I do that research?
Actually, with the internet, it's very easy because I can even make it easier. You can just call me. I have a great team of realtors. But the truth is, Andy, the city is full of awesome realtors. I feel like compared to real estate agents I've met across the country, we are just a very professional, knowledgeable bunch of agents in this city. So people here are lucky.
But you can always give Robin a ring.
Sure.
Throw the phone number in there.
I don't want to pretend like I'm the only good realtor, but I'm definitely one of them, for sure.
But yeah, I'm serious. Throw the phone number in right now.
Yeah. My cell phone is 507-259-4926. So if you are looking to hire a great realtor, I'd be happy to help you or have someone on my team help you. So today we're going to talk about what do you need to know before selling a home.
I don't even have a clue. To be honest with you, I've purchased a home. I've never sold a home.
Well, so that day's coming, right? So
to,
listen close.
It's inevitable. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're one of those people that have stayed in your house for a long time.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I mean,
true.
To move. But, okay, I know that I've been in that home a long time, and I know I have a file cabinet full of papers.
Exactly. So start gathering that information, putting together receipts that you might have, timelines that you might have, because one of the first things you're going to do is fill out a home disclosure. And you're going to talk about any improvements you've made to the home. When did you replace the furnace? How old is the water heater? Have you had anybody come in to service anything? If so, what was the issue? What did they do to fix it? Do you have the receipt proving that it was a professional that did it? When's the last time you put a new roof on? I mean, those are all things that somebody who's going to buy your home are going to be interested in knowing about your home. So the better that you have taken care of your home is obviously going to work to your benefit. And then the more organized you are with your record keeping. Oh my gosh, I was just at an appointment. This is kind of just out there, but I was just at an appointment and I was so impressed. It's a house that I currently have on the market. And this gentleman got out his stack of notebooks. Every single year since he's owned his home, he has a notebook with the year on the outside, and inside he has the date that anything was done, whether it's new mulch or anything he's done to his house, and he's got all of his receipts, everything he's done, when he's done it. I'm like, no, this is a dream seller. Anybody who buys this house, it comes with exactly how it's been maintained for its entirety. That doesn't always happen. But,
no, it's not going to happen in my case. I can promise you that.
But typically people do have some records of the major projects. Right. So it's important to look those up. And now that we have things saved on our computers, it's easier to get into your files and pull them out or receipts and just put it all together so it's in a nice organized fashion. I think that's really good. Another thing that is great is if you're listing your house in the summer and it happens to be just gorgeous in the winter, you can get out some pictures that you have of, your trees with the frost on them or the cardinals or whatever you really love about winter, and vice versa. If you're selling your house and it's gray and dismal in spring and you've got pictures of flowers in full bloom, get out those pictures. Show your house off in other seasons if you've got all that documented.
I'm glad I kept it.
Awesome.
But, I imagine that's going to take a little bit of work for most people. But I love the idea of the journaling.
Isn't that awesome?
I suppose even starting wherever you're at now.
Yeah, I love it too. And the books he had, they actually were like exactly meant for that, like home journaling. And so I said, oh my God, I am going to order these and start to give these to my home buyers so that they can start keeping track of the house from here moving forward for those organized type that will do that, because it is really good.
Okay, we have kind of talked about, we have talked about this, and when to sell, and I'm talking about time of the year.
Sure.
How to decide when is the best time to put your home on the market.
Right. And every market's different. You know, we've talked about how in Rochester we're pretty unique to that whole, the incoming Mayo Clinic residents. And so there's kind of a strong influx in the spring market, and they're all moving here in June to get ready for their residency. And that's, again, going to be probably the houses that are 200 to 300 in general, you know, that they're attracted to, but sometimes less, sometimes more. As far as like right now, because we're coming up on the school year ending, I think for families with children, right now is an ideal time to get their house on the market. It's much easier to have your house in showing condition and get the kids out and make it accessible when you're not trying to stick to your routine of a school day, right?
Yeah.
So,
I imagine that there are people who kind of go the exact opposite of what the rule of thumb is. Now, you mentioned in Rochester we have that rush of transactions that occur that's tied to the Mayo Clinic transitions. But do you see people who say, I'm going to go look in October because I don't have to deal with that.
And I don't want to compete with it. And I don't want to be in that crazy multiple offers. So, yeah. Sometimes we have young couples that are just going to be getting married, you know, and so they've decided to buy a home together. Or maybe we have like young nurses or young professionals that have been renting, and now they've established enough credit and enough savings that they want to take that next step and buy a house. So yeah, for those kind of clients, I always recommend your move isn't time sensitive. So why not make it work to your benefit and not be out there in the mad rush.
But if you're a seller too, you might be a person who's able to take advantage of that as well.
Yeah. I mean, is it an advantage? Because if you're a seller, you kind of like that whole, I'm going to sell in a minute and everybody's going to come. But yeah, I mean, the good news is, and we've talked about this before too, is that our business here in Rochester really does stay steady on a constant. So it's not just sell your house in the summer or forget about it. I mean, we sell houses all year long.
You know, I just put together a report that shows that we've pretty much been adding in excess of 1,000 people to the city as far as population every single year.
Yeah.
Or more since the last census.
It's crazy.
So those people need a place to live.
Right. And we've all seen all the apartment buildings go up. So, yeah, there's a lot of people coming to town. We like it.
Pre-listing inspection. We've touched on this before. Mm-hmm. You think this is a great idea, right?
I do. I think that most people are pretty in tune to what's going on in their home, and they can usually tell me at a listing appointment, well, I'm not worried about anything except for that one window in the master bedroom is kind of leaky, or, you know, I mean, they usually know where their weaknesses are, right? And so I always say, let's take a proactive approach. And if you know there's something wrong, fix it. Because bottom line is when they come to do their inspection, your buyer, they're going to identify it and they're going to ask for it. So it's just a lot less stressful. And I think it just shows that you've done your due diligence to get the house ready for the market, and you've made yourself aware of any issues. So, you know, sometimes there are issues that you're not aware of. So by doing an inspection, they'll uncover those issues and give you an opportunity to take care of them. A lot of sellers have never heard of grounding the CSST line. Have you ever heard of that?
I did. I put in a gas fireplace.
Okay.
And I was educated about that because that's a relatively new code.
It is. And apparently, you know, when they weren't grounded, lightning could strike outside your home, and the lightning could follow the gas line into your home and cause an explosion inside your house. Not good. So they found out that it's a really easy fix. It's roughly $125 to have some plumber come out and ground your gas line, and boom, you're done. No, electrician. Why did I say plumber? There are plumbers that can do it, but it's an electrician that you call.
Would come in
to ground your gas line, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So a lot of times sellers will say to me, well, I don't want to do that. It wasn't a code when I built the house. Well, you're right. It wasn't, but it's changed, and now people are aware that this is how they keep their family safe. So, of course, they're going to be interested in it. So I say find out what those issues are, take care of them in advance, and make your house as, tip-top condition as you possibly can.
It likely will pay off when the seller
comes. It will pay off.
And
it will
the
pay
buyer
off.
shows up and says, oh, wow, You already took care of this. Well, I'll tell you what, we have to take a break. We'll talk more about what you need to know if you're going to sell your home, the things you have to be aware of and be ready for. With Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340, KROC-AM and 96.9 FM. Good morning and welcome back. I'm Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340, KROC-AM and 96.9 FM. We're talking this morning about what you need to know if you're going to sell your home. The most important things to have, I guess, at least awareness of as you move into the marketplace to sell your home. We talked in the previous segment about getting the home inspection before you even put it on the market. Related to that, Robin, is a product out there available to people selling their homes, a warranty.
Yes.
I always thought that was kind of just for the new homes, but you can do it on your pre-owned home as well, right?
Yeah. It's actually probably more important because with a new home, there's a builder's warranty that comes with it, But with an existing home, all right, let's backtrack just a bit. So you're the seller and you've had your home inspection, and the home inspection is complete, and he tells you, Andy, your furnace is about to the end of its life, but still working very well, and I've cleaned it, and who knows, there may be another 3 to 5 years in it.
Or
maybe
6
it'll
months.
go, and maybe it'll go 10, or maybe it'll go out in the next 6 months. They don't have a
Right.
crystal ball, right? But they're going to tell you it's getting up there in age, and they know what the life expectancy is and how it looks, that kind of thing. So what I tell people is, if everything's working, but you are in fear that everything might be coming to the end of its life, no, you don't have to go out and buy a brand new furnace and a brand new hot water heater. But what you should do or can do is offer a home warranty. That way, when the buyer buys your house, at least for the first year, they're going to be covered. So, and that covers not only things like the furnace and the hot water heater and the mechanicals, but also the appliances, the stove and the refrigerator and the microwave. So if things are getting older and something goes out in that first year, they're going to be covered under the home warranty. So it just takes a little stress off their plate, thinking, if I'm going to buy a house that the furnace could die in this first year when I'm just getting used to being a homeowner and this is all new to me, that's a big load.
Right.
But if I've got this home warranty and I know that it'd be covered, that takes the stress off them.
Is that something that's really costly to look into?
No, not at all. It's approximately $500.
Oh, okay.
So it's not that costly at all. And the cool thing about a home warranty is if you're listing your house and we buy it right away when we list the house, it covers you from the time you purchased it until the house is sold. And then the 1 year for the new buyer kicks in. So you actually just get those additional months. And I'll tell you, I've had a lot of people list their house and 3 weeks in say, I can't believe it. My water heater went out and I've got to replace a new water heater.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah, the buyer's going to get a brand new water heater. And I'm thinking to myself, that is way better than the day before or the day after closing. Not that I wish that upon the seller, but it can make the real estate transaction pretty stressful. So those home warranties can come in really handy, especially when I actually have a seller right now that said, could you get me the information on it? I said, well, everything in your house is immaculate. And he said, I'm kind of an insurance guy. I like things insured, makes me sleep good at night, and I like to feel good about that, knowing that if a young couple buys my house and anything goes wrong, they're not going to have to worry about it.
Well, that's the part I was thinking. That once I have it on the market, I'm not worried about that,
right.
That furnace that's 25 years old that's in my basement. Yeah.
Yep. No, it's a good thing, and it's relatively inexpensive.
Okay. Getting the house ready, this whole business of staging. What are we talking about when we talk about staging?
Yeah, that's a good question, because if you're living in the house, staging might simply mean declutter, pack away a lot of your things, maybe rent a storage unit, put some things. I get a kick out of people who think decluttering means move it from one room to the next, or
Stuff it in the closet.
Yeah, everything exactly, or everything goes from in the house to in the garage, and then people take a peek in the garage and it's literally floor to ceiling, end to end stuff. It seems kind of like, So I feel like if you're going to go to the bother of decluttering, just do it 100%. And I tell people, start right now. You're moving, so start right now and take one room at a time and say, okay, what am I going to pack up and take with me to the next house? What am I going to donate? What am I going to throw away? And just start doing it so that it's not all, down to the wire. Okay, we've got to do this. We've got to pack. Because what you end up doing then is taking all your old stuff with you. It just doesn't make sense. So if you're still living in the house and we're talking about staging, it means put it in the best showing condition that you possibly can. Okay. If the house is empty, it's already been vacated, and we're talking about staging, that might mean actually bringing in furniture, accessories, making it feel warmer and more lived in. Sometimes people stage with just some props, a few towels on the kitchen counter and in the bathrooms, and maybe a few candles, just things to make it feel not so empty, not so lonely.
Is that something you can give advice on?
Absolutely.
What kind of things make people more comfortable when they come into a home?
Absolutely. And when I list a house, I always tell people, you want to make it the most amazing experience that you can for people. So when people come in, you want to make it appealing to their sight, to their smells. I mean, if people come into a house and there's a pile of dirty laundry or a sink full of dirty dishes, or it smells like the garbage should have gone out yesterday, it doesn't exactly make you think, oh, I could see myself living here. This place is awesome.
This is my dream home.
Yeah, but if you come in and everything is in pristine condition and it's clean and it's inviting and it's decluttered and it smells lovely, you just kind of get caught up in the moment and you can imagine yourself there. It's psychological, sure, but it's real.
And the good news is, from what you've told me about this market, if you have that sweet spot home, you don't have to live that staged life for very long.
Not for very long. It's a short-lived experience. You're exactly right.
Because it'd be pretty hard to hold that up.
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. Listing your house is not easy. If you want to do it right and get it completely ready for showings, it takes a little effort.
Yeah. I mean, are there any, I think of colors. I think of, people paint their homes or have furnishings in their homes that they like, but perhaps the majority of people don't. Is that something when you speak with them that you advise them that, maybe that purple wall, I know you like the Vikings a lot, but maybe a different color?
Yeah, sometimes. And, I've gone both ways with that. I've had times where I've listed houses and people have said, one of my daughter's rooms is hot pink and the other one is bright purple, and this move is already really hard for them. So I know it's smart to go neutral, but I would just as soon let them have their room the way it is until we're gone. And I say, you know what? No one's going to not buy this house because your girls' bedrooms are painted pink and purple. They might ask you to have those rooms painted as part of the contract, or they might ask you to allow for money for them to have it painted, or they might just say, you know what, it's paint, we'll paint it. So it's not going to necessarily be a deal breaker.
Okay.
Now, I have seen houses where people get a little carried away, and as you walk through, every single room is a different color, and they are color, so not just pastels, but pretty bold. And when I see a house like that, it does take people a little more to be able to wrap their arms around that one. So in that case, I might say it'd be good if we picked a nice worldly gray and just went all through the house with this, but like we keep saying, everything's moving so fast in the market and inventory is so slim that you can get away with not having to do the things that you would have had to do 6-7 years ago.
All right, we're talking about things you need to know if you're going to be selling your home, and we're talking with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. More of this discussion right after this break on News Talk 1340, KROC-AM and 96.9 FM. Good morning. Welcome back. I'm Andy Brownell, and I'm with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. This morning, our topic is things you need to know if you're going to sell your home, things to be ready for if you're going to be one of the sellers in our marketplace in Rochester. And open houses, always a big deal when people are selling their homes. Is it necessary to have open house, Robin?
It's not necessary. Definitely, if you ask 5 realtors what their opinion is of an open house, you might get 5 different opinions, okay? And that being said, some may say absolutely have to do it. Some may say don't ever do it. It's a waste of time. Some may say do it, but very rarely. Some may say do it several weekends in a row until you get it sold. So it's very much personal opinion. Okay.
How do I evaluate whether it's the right choice for me?
Okay. So in my opinion, if it's something you're open to, and you feel good about, having to have the house clean and ready and pack up your kids or your dog or your wife or whoever you have and get out of the house, and you say, hey, from my end, Robin, that's no problem, then I'm going to say, let's do it. Because I feel like every bit of exposure we get is only going to help your cause. All right. I believe that many realtors, and my friends who are listening are probably going to get mad at me, who say an open house isn't worth it, are really saying, I don't want to waste my time doing an open house. Okay. And I feel like anything I can do for my sellers that could be advantageous for them, I want to do. So I'm a firm believer in open houses, and my team, we actually hold quite a few. And then every Monday when we have our sales meeting, we talk about who had traffic at the open houses, how many people came through. And I will tell you that this week I did sell a house, a very high-end house, to somebody that came through the open house about 4 weekends ago. And then that intrigued them, and they just kept watching it and inquiring and asking questions. And last night we sealed the deal. So anytime somebody says, you never sell a house at the open house, I'm going to say, wrong. We sell quite a few houses because of open houses.
Is that part of it? Which part of the market you're in to decide whether or not the open house is for you? I mean, if you have that under $200,000 home, which is, probably going to be off the market just like that, I imagine the answer is probably no in that case. Good point. But I'm going to tell you, I just listed a house that I knew was going to sell really quick because it was like $209,000. This young family has 4 kids. And to pack up 4 kids and get out of the house, especially when you have 1 hour notice or 2 hour notice, is pretty tricky. So I said, let's do this. Let's put your house on the market late in the day on Friday. You guys just plan to be out all day Saturday, and we'll do an open house for 3 of the hours. So anybody can come anytime they want. The rest of the day, the agents can get it out. And then by Saturday night, we can look at whatever offers we have, get your house sold, and it'll be very, very convenient for you. And we did, and it worked perfectly, and we sold the house that evening. So you just have to have your plan of attack, and it has to make sense to primarily the homeowner. And as long as your realtor is in agreement. And if your realtor is not in agreement, you might not have hired the right realtor because really the homeowner should be calling the shots about things like open houses. But that's where you come in as well as an experienced realtor to talk with the person who is trying to sell their home to gauge how it might go for them.
Correct. And I feel like some sellers get a bad taste in their mouth about open houses because they feel like, oh, as an agent, you want me to get out of my house and let you use my house as your office to meet new potential clients to buy other houses other than mine. And I'll tell you that is never my intention. When I go to an open house, I am not bringing my laptop. I'm not there to talk about other houses that might be available. I am there for the sole reason to sell that house and to open that house for people to come in and see it. Now, if somebody comes in and they happen to like me but not like that house, I'm happy to give them a card and say, if you'd like to call me and ask me to show you anything else at another time, I'm happy to do it. But right now, I'm here working for my seller to get this house sold, and that's my priority.
So you're happy in an open house. Is there another step you should take beyond what we've already talked about, staging and preparing the home?
Well, the day of the open house, you want to have it in tip-top showing condition, of course. You're not going to open your house for people to come in. It's like any other open house. If you're having an open house for your kid's graduation, you know how it is. We all go crazy and we get everything just spotless and perfect. And yeah, it's like you want to make a good impression, right? You want your house to look the best it looks. I even believe in making it smell good. I think I've told you before that.
Cookies.
Yes, with the seller's permission, I'll bring frozen cookie dough and I'll bake cookies, and then I'll set them out on the counter, and I'll invite the people at the open house to have a cookie. And, it just breaks the ice, and people don't feel uncomfortable if they know that it really is the spirit of an open house. And the point is they're supposed to come in, feel comfortable, and look around.
I had a great question ready for you, and now it just went off the side of my mind
heck to
because
get
you
old,
brought up,
isn't
you
it?
brought up the cookies.
It's heck to get old, isn't it, Andy?
No, it was actually the cookie thing. It kind of threw me off. I
Are you
started
getting hungry?
imagining the cookies. I know what it was. Would it be worthwhile to hire a professional to come in and clean the house before something like that?
It's always worthwhile to have a professional come in and clean your house. Are you kidding? If you don't have to do it yourself, that makes it worthwhile. No, yeah, it is. I mean, I feel like, again, if you're going to do an open house, and especially in this price range that's going to sell really quickly and probably at that first open house or, that weekend of that first open house, why not knock yourself out and either just get it spick and span yourself or get somebody in to do it? I think it's a great idea. All
right. We've been talking about things you need to know if you're going to sell your home, and we've covered quite a bit of the list, but if people have questions, they want more information, or they're just looking for somebody to represent them as they sell their home, or you're buying a home, Robin, how do they get a hold of you? How do they talk to you?
Feel free to call me on my cell phone anytime. I always have it, and I will always answer it. My cell phone number is 507-259-4926, or visit our website at gwaltneygroup.com.
All right, Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, News Talk 1340, KROC-AM.